Our means of communication are increasingly influenced by multimedia. Could multimedia be used as an attractive way for customers to inform themselves about the services offered by their bank? Research into aspects of human-computer interaction is one of the fields in which UBLab is active.
Unsere Ziele waren, Multimedia so einzusetzen.
Our aim was to use multimedia in a way which would allow even casual users to operate a computer system. As a pilot project, we developed an information system whose attractive design should make people want to learn more about its contents.
Through usability tests and field studies, we succeeded in creating a user interface which made it possible to use the system without training or tutoring. Our research resulted in the prototype Minnelli, an electronic multimedia catalog containing everything you ever wanted to know about personal accounts, money transfers, saving and credit cards.
Information had to be presented via combinations of text, image, language, music, graphics, and film. Information boards describe the products and their advantages. Short animated cartoons introduce individual products. Interactive simulations are particularly attractive. Minnelli was developed with Easy Rossi and Gaston, the authoring tools of MacGuffin Software Limited. The animated cartoons were produced with Macromedia Director, Adobe Photoshop, and Sound Edit. The information system runs on an Apple Macintosh with 20 megabytes of RAM. Its contents are stored on the internal hard disk. Central updates of variable data must be possible. The various Minnelli systems in UBS branch offices were connected to UBLab via telephone lines using Apple Talk remote access.
The central idea behind the system is to connect bank business and show business. The monitor becomes a stage on which entertaining scenes from a bank are performed. We modelled Minnelli on the Oscar-winning musical An American in Paris by Vicente Minnelli. Dry, matter-of-fact bank information comes alive.
In commercial multimedia development projects, close cooperation between subject matter experts and developers is essential. In the Minnelli project, this cooperation was promoted by means of participative system development. It is crucial that the user perspective is and remains the guiding principle of development. The example of Minnelli shows that project management and coordination is best entrusted to specialists in the field of human-computer interaction. In a first phase, the shell of the information kiosk was implemented with state-of-the-art tools. During this phase, scriptwriters with filmmaking experience design the content structure for the dynamic medium multimedia. Programmers and software engineers contribute the required tools. Graphic artists then translate the contents into a graphically attractive form. Musicians compose a suitable soundtrack.
We concentrated on designing an intuitively clear user interface. Intensive usability tests served to check and question the interaction mechanisms again and again, until eventually we felt ready to launch a first prototype.
In a second phase, subject matter experts were called in. In the case of Minnelli, these were customer advisors of the bank. With their help, the contents and possible ways of using the system were worked out in detail. At least as important as all these experts are the customers. Their feedback makes it possible to adjust the design and the structure more and more to their actual requirements. However, the feedback has to be as objective and precise as possible. This led to larger field tests in 7 branch offices, where the acceptance of the system was tested over a period of more than a year. Especially informative were the recordings of every single activation of the touch screen. In the course of the field tests, a database of over 20,000 user sessions was accumulated. The analysis of the protocols and their visualization in click charts revealed in what ways the system was being used. Observations, feedback of the customer's advisors, and personal interviews with customers completed the study. For casual users, the information system must be rendered tangible with the help of a metaphor taken from daily life. For them, it's an electronic catalog. Minnelli supports 4 access strategies. If you want to browse in the system, you follow the signposts for various bank topics. Your need, our offer. This leads us directly to the questions customers ask most. The index supports the specific search for products. Special offer of the month informs about services which are particularly attractive at a given time. Observations show that the customers understand the handling of the system intuitively. Individual products are presented with animated cartoons. They demonstrate, for example, how and with which form to make a payment by transfer. Advantages are emphasized graphically. Processes can be visualized. The simulations answer frequently asked questions. Can we afford to buy our own home? Once the parameters of selling price and down payment personal resources are fixed, suggestions for financing, expected costs, and the recommended annual income are immediately displayed. As incentives to explore further parts of the electronic catalog, various elements of a purely entertaining character, such as animated cartoons, have been scattered throughout the system. The Pearl game asks you to find as many pearls as possible. The quality of a user interface can only be increased if mistakes made during the development are later recognized and corrected. In its first version, Minnelli played this trailer when not activated to attract the attention of potential users.
To start, press the screen.
Observations showed that many customers watched the film, but then did not touch the screen. It was difficult for them to predict the consequences of touching it. This simple action proved to be the biggest hurdle for the potential users of Minnelli. The idea of the Start button is modeled on the everyday world of the users. Today, Minnelli draws attention to itself with this flashing button. The customers realize from the beginning that they themselves must get active. After the introduction of the Start button, the use of the system increased markedly. The first prototype relied on online operating instructions for the users. However, casual users were not able to process this kind of meta information. It was decided to drop it, and instead to refine the interface until the customers would be able to operate the system intuitively. The buttons for animated cartoons and simulations used to get hardly any attention. Now their three-dimensional effect makes them stand up. The function of the slide rules, too, has to be intuitively clear. Their current design invites activation. Films used to be stopped by simply touching the screen. Now they are only stopped by pressing the stop button or the signposts. The solution is simple. but it was much more difficult to identify the problem as such. The protocols gave evidence that a third of the informative films were aborted prematurely. Observations showed that this was often the result of people inadvertently touching the screen. The protocols confirmed this, since in 1 out of 2 cases, the same film was started again. The example of Minnelli provides important insights for the development of a multimedia information system. Aspects of human-computer interaction are of absolutely crucial importance. Coordination and project management should be entrusted to experts. Users have to be integrated into the development process from the very beginning. Only by recognizing mistakes can a user interface be improved. The elements of the system should appear completely banal and give the impression that no other solution could ever have been devised. All these details, taken together, make up the Minnelli look and feel.